Hey everybody, Duet Ninja here. Welcome to the dojo. It is March 2nd, um, 09:29 hours, and here we are. I hope you guys are doing well, considering. Um, hmm. Hopefully, you are getting your things in order. There's things yet to come. It's only March. He's barely been in office for 2 months. So, today I'm going to talk about um, the 14th Amendment, and how people are not necessarily understanding why um, the 14th Amendment is so important to not only Trump, but to the implementation of Project 2025. So, yeah, yeah. I utilize AI. And of course, if you understand the leverage of critical questioning, especially when it comes to artificial intelligence, your reach in terms of information and understanding is it's gonna be beyond amazing. Okay, so hmm, here we go. I'm reading from my computer screen. Hopefully you don't mind. I'll read the prompts too, so you can follow up yourself, and get educated on the importance of the 14th Amendment. Now, of course, everybody talks about the 14th Amendment in terms of Section 1, which deals with birthright birthright citizenship. What people don't talk about is Section 2 and beyond, which really bothers me because if you understood the reality of Section 2 and the fact that we vote people in office who do not, well, because it's not surprising, mind you, but we elect people into office who do not utilize the teeth, the leverage of the Constitution, to put people in check when it comes to, I guess you can say desecrating the Constitution. All right, so I'm going to read Section 2 of the 14th, and then I'll get into the key points. Okay, so it reads. Representatives shall be appointed among the several states according to their respective numbers, counting the whole number of persons in each state, excluding Indians not taxed. Of course, that doesn't uh, apply to today. But when the right to vote at any election for the choice of electors for president and vice president of the United States, representatives in Congress, the executive and judicial officers of a state, or the members of the legislature thereof, is denied to any of the male inhabitants of such state, of course, it now includes females, being 21 years of age, and of course, that's been changed to 18, and citizens of the United States, and citizens of the United States, or in any way abridged, except for participation in rebellion, January 6th, or other crime, the basis of representation therein shall be reduced in the proportion which the number of such male citizens shall bear to the whole number of male citizens 21 years of age in such state. Now it's 18. Okay. Now, here are the key points. And this is exactly why people need to be all in when it comes to their state local representatives, because this applies to the state level too. Key points. Okay. One, appointment of representatives. Congressional representation is based on the total population of each state. Okay. Um, so when we're talking about gerrymandering, things get muddied up. When you're talking about people challenging votes, which should not be a thing, which the Republican Party have done, and they do it more than any other. This is why. Number two, penalty for denying voting rights. Penalty. This shit's already set up, folks. If a state denies the right to vote to any male citizen over the age of 18 now, except as punishment for rebellion or crime. Rebellion or crime. Its representation in Congress will be reduced proportionally in proportion to those who rebelled and or are criminal. It's almost like January 6th. Anyway, historical context in the situation. All right. That's number three. And this was intended to punish Southern states if they refused to let newly freed black men vote after the Civil War. It was never fully enforced, obviously, and states found ways around it through literacy tests, poll taxes, and other discriminatory practices. The reason they got away with it was because people in Congress have been under the I guess you could say the weight of the dollar bill, so to say. I mean, now you implement things like APAC and all these other these wealthy donors, and it has got so inflated now that they can just cut out whoever. And again, there are already penalties put into the Constitution of the United States for people who do this shit. It's just not enforced because we vote in people that big money want us to put in the office. We're just now learning this on a broad scale. We're just now learning this. This is why MAGA was so important because they don't care about the actuality of the situation. They just care that they have Cheetos on their lips. It is what it is. It is what it is. Hold on, I'm opening up my chat. Anyway, okay. So, continuing with the historical context here. And hello, by the way. I'm speaking on the subsections of the 14th Amendment because people are so hell bent and focused on deportation and birthright citizenship when in all actuality what they're trying to do, I really think this is their primary goal. What they're trying to do is completely undercut any type of blowback from them according to the Constitution of the United States for suppressing people's voting rights. This is the part of the 14th Amendment that people really need to focus on because they're coming for our ability to vote. It's coming. Continuing the historical context, the 15th Amendment, ratified in 1870, later explicitly prohibited racial discrimination in voting. Through enforcement remained, though enforcement remained weak until the Voting Rights Act of 1965. People also forget the first civil rights movement, the actual civil rights movement, was during Reconstruction. That was the first civil rights movement. Okay, so what happened in the 60s was the second one, and the reason why that was so effective was because of media. Because of media, people were seeing what Black folks were saying, and not just now granted, merely 30, 20 to 30 years prior to that, people were going to picnics, getting postcards and collecting limbs from people who were burned at the stake and all this other nonsense. But anyway, so what's Section 2's impact on today? Section 2 of the 14th Amendment. Well, no, just subtleties. The male, quote unquote, male wording became obsolete with the 19th Amendment. Of course, women are granted the right to vote. The 26th Amendment, 1971, lowered the voting age to 18. So that's funny. People don't realize, you had to be 21 for a while. I wonder why. The idea of reducing representation for voter suppression has never been enforced, even in cases where states have imposed restrictive voting laws. Again, folks, there are already measures in the Constitution that will make people pay for messing with people's voting rights. But people want to tell you that your votes don't fucking matter. You want to bet? They're trying to come after your right to vote, for crying out loud. Trump's in office. People, I'll say so. I I told you I was going to type the prompts. So after that section, the AI asked, "Would you like a breakdown of how this section has been referenced in modern legal cases?" And I'm not going to go through all of them. I'll just come up on the most recent one, which was 1985, Hunter versus Underwood. The case involved racial discrimination and felony disenfranchisement laws in Alabama. Of course, this will set a precedent for states granting the ability for people who serve their time to be granted the ability to vote again. And another reminder that voting is a privilege, it's not a right. Why is that? Because you had to have two civil rights movements in order for black folks to even have a chance to vote. You had to have an amendment written for women to have the right to vote. Voting is a privilege, even though it's supposed to be a right. And the reason why it's a privilege and not a right is because people vote, oddly enough, people into office that don't give a fuck about the betterment of the country. And you want to blame the government. Bitch, you built the government. This is on you. This is on me. This is on us. While Richardson versus Ramirez upheld felony disenfranchisement, and that was a case in 1974, the Supreme Court ruled in Hunter that a law could be struck down if it was enacted with racist intent. Section 2 was mentioned in the broader context of voting right restrictions. Okay. So again, the 14th Amendment also covers people's ability to vote and not be discriminated against, on top of other amendments, obviously. Okay. So could Section 2 be used today? Theoretically, if Congress wanted to again enforce Section 2, it could reduce representation for states that engage in voter suppression. Accountability. This shit's already in the Constitution, folks. I'll read that to you again. Theoretically, could Section 2 of the 14th Amendment be utilized today as a reference point, as a tool? Theoretically, if Congress wanted to enforce Section 2, it could reduce representation for states that engage in voter suppression. However, the lack of past enforcement and political considerations make it unlikely. Now, I'm pretty sure you folks can understand why. Then AI prompt me. I'm gonna tell it to you now. Would you like me to explore potential modern applications in more depth? Yes. Okay. So, modern applications of Section 2 of the 14th Amendment. And hello, everybody. Well, welcome to the dojo. What's up, Mark? I would argue that Section 2 would most assuredly apply today if it, but we're talking about now, and then just a ballpark here. We're talking about 10 to 12 states, all of them red. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You wouldn't have a conservative president probably for the duration of American future American history, so to say. Um, if Congress actually enacted that shit, if the population understood the leverage that Congress has when it comes to the executive branch, if people understood that, number one, Trump wouldn't be in office. Number two, these gerrymandering situations, stuff like that, they will be too scared to. They won't be talking shit about folks and the voting and all this other stuff. They won't be talking about shit like that, man. They be scared shitless. Like, don't do that. We're gonna lose our congressional seats and things of that nature. We're not gonna have people voting. We're not gonna have leverage when it comes to the federal election. Don't do that. It's not reinforced, so they just like, yeah, whoa, yeah, legals. Okay, so modern applications. Here we go. One, penalizing voter suppression. Section 2 states that if a state denies or abridges the right to vote, its representation in Congress should be reduced. Many states have passed restrictive voting laws, including strict voter ID laws. You don't need an ID to vote. Reduction of early voting, voter roll purges, closures of now. Just think back. How many states pulled this bullshit? North Carolina did. If enforced, states with such laws could lose House seats and electoral votes. Bro, here's the challenge because they offer the challenge. Courts have never enforced this provision, and doing so will require a major legal shift. Actually, it will require a major awakening. That's why they don't want people to be woke, so they can remain in the state of semi monarchy. This is why the Republicans have been trying to pack the courts for years. Courts have never enforced this provision. And oddly enough, that same body, that judicial body, is going to be the same individuals that are going to put quote unquote illegals in Guantanamo, black sites. Lord knows what they're going to do with these people. Using Section 2 against modern felony disenfranchisement. Now, this is something you can thank Nixon for that push, the war on crime, and then Reagan and all this other, and of course we're overrepresented in the jails. Going back to that court case I mentioned, Richardson versus Ramirez, 1974, allowed states to disenfranchise felons, citing their participation in rebellion or other crime clause. I'm not quite sure rebellion. You're not rebelling against a country. Other crime is very broad, mind you. If somebody was given a felony, um, a felony attachment or conviction, um, simply because they're living in a or in an impoverished state, so they try to find means outside of the system to make money so they can survive. And these are not the same people who are bringing in these narcotics, bringing in these things. Quite sure why that would be considered a crime, unless you're just trying to criminalize a particular section of society so they can't vote. This is another reason why the Democratic Party can't be trusted. Three strikes. Anyway, but yeah, this section using Section 2 against that again. How many states? Okay, I'm getting ready to mention one right now. Florida, for one, have passed laws making it harder for former felons to regain voting rights, requiring them to pay fines first. Now, how much money are these guys making or gals making behind bars? I mean, let's see. So, next section, can Section 2 be used against gerrymandering? This is interesting. Extreme partisan and racial gerrymandering makes it harder for voters to have fair representation. Some legal experts suggest that gerrymandering can be seen as an quote unquote abridgment of voting rights under Section 2. If enforced, once again, states that draw unfair maps could lose House seats. Imagine if we put people in Congress who actually follow the fucking rules. Imagine that. Okay, so could Congress enforce Section 2? And again, in theory, Congress has the power to enforce Section 2 by passing laws. Well, actually, they can't pass laws. They can put forth a bill for the president to sign. But some examples: reduce representation for states with voter suppression laws, mandate fair access to voting, mandate it. Why is that not mandated? Create penalties for felony disenfranchisement laws targeting minorities. However, this will require, again, a willing Congress, which is deeply divided on voting rights because we vote people into office that represent people that should not have that type of representation power in the first place, and Supreme Court approval. Of course, again, this is why the Conservative Party has been. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop calling them Republican Party. It's the Conservative Party. The Conservative Party in this country. Um, they wanted to pack the Supreme Court. SCOTUS is packed, and here we are. See, so yeah. See, bottom line, it's a powerful but unused tool. It was meant to deter voter suppression, but has never been enforced. And this is just section 2, y'all. There's a couple more. Congress or the courts would need to act, which is unlikely without major, again, political change, which means a major awakening. So section 3, which deals directly with the president of the United States. Again, this it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. There are people. There not people. There are clauses put into the Constitution to make people pay for doing dumb shit, and we're too busy worrying about halftime Super Bowls. No knock on Kendrick. All right, so section 3. No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president and vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state legislature, so this is not just federal, or as any executive or judicial officer of any state to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection. This is word for word. An insurrection or rebellion against the same or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. This is why they wanted to shut down the investigation, because the enemies thereof was coming. That information, that intel was coming. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, you do not want to be an enemy of the United States of America, especially domestic. You don't want that smoke. And that's exactly what was about to happen to a shitload of conservatives in the halls of Congress, at the state level. It was coming. This is why I have this notion that Trump is the modern day Andrew Johnson. Donald Trump is the modern day Andrew Johnson. If you don't know who President Andrew Johnson is, please, for the love of God, go check it out. See what he did with the planter class. See what he did to the efforts of Reconstruction. See what he did to when it came to the rights of quote unquote African Americans. Just go see for yourself, because what he did for the planter class is a direct correlation to not only the Daughters of the Confederacy, but the efforts of just absolute mayhem by the Democrats in the early 1900s, Woodrow Wilson and such. It's a direct correlation. A lot of black and brown individuals had to die because of Andrew Johnson. And I'm not talking about during his presidency. I'm talking about the decades of absolute terrorism, not only the South, for the next, gosh, what, 60 years? But Congress, to finish the Section 3 portion, but Congress excuse me, but Congress, that shit irks me. But Congress may by a vote of 2/3 of each house remove such disability. This is why they needed this is why they needed Congress. This is why conservatives needed Congress. This is why they needed SCOTUS. If we actually put people in the seats of Congress to actually put down the motherfucking hammer. But Congress may by a vote of 2/3 of each house. So that's the House and the Senate. But okay, so key points of Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. Thanks again for watching, Mark. Appreciate you. This qualifies officials who engage in insurrection. Okay, anyone who has taken an oath to support the Constitution, government officials, military officers. So I'm sure there was some active duty. Matter of fact, some active duty was arrested on January 6th. Cannot hold office if they engage in insurrection or rebellion. This includes, here's a list for you: senators and representatives, presidential electors, federal and state executive, legislative, and judicial officials, military officers. These people will not be able to hold, they would not be able to hold office. Not really the senators and representatives. There have been a lot of Republican senators and House reps that would have lost their shit. They would have lost their seats. Appreciate it, Mark. Number 2, engage in insurrection or rebellion. Originally meant to punish former Confederates who fought against the Union during the Civil War. And then this is the Andrew Johnson reference. Today, it could apply to anyone who supports or participates in an uprising against the U.S. government. Today, I want to say that for you again, because this is going to be recorded and whatever. I might put this on TikTok. Today, March 2nd, 2025, it could apply to anyone who supports or participates in an uprising against the U.S. government. Yeah, here's another problem about this, though. This can be flipped. Because this supports whoever's in office right now. Interesting. Number 3, aid or comfort to the enemies. This could include providing resources. Assistance. No. Or public support to those rebelling against the U.S. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Fox News. That's Hannity. That's Murdoch. This is why they want to get rid of the 14th Amendment, man. This is what they're after. They're gonna start with Section 1 and they're gonna filtrate down. Folks, do you not understand that if we get people in Congress that are supposed to do what the hell the Constitution says and what we want them to do, there will be no more conservatives in the halls of Congress. There will be no conservatives in the halls of Congress. Section 3, 14th Amendment, aid or comfort to enemies. This could include providing resources. That means hotel room, gas, food, intel, access. Wasn't somebody giving tours day prior? Assistance, public support. That's verbal and or otherwise. What was Trump and his cronies doing right before they went to the to the Capitol building? What were they doing? I believe they were having some type of rally. This is why I always say, stop blaming the government when you're putting motherfuckers in these seats to run the damn government. Stop blaming it. You should be looking in the freaking mirror, because that's where it starts. If you don't take the time to actually read and understand the Constitution and realize there are already means and ways and means to put people in check when they do dumb shit, and that you have to put somebody in seat to do what the hell they're supposed to do, you need to shut the hell up with this old government. There's already things in place. What's wrong with you people? They already put it out there. The Constitution is artificial intelligence, old school. It's already there, man. It's already there. God almighty. I mean, come on, man. Providing resources, assistance, bro. Every conservative, and well, hold on. 85%, I would say, 85% of conservatives in the halls of Congress, that means the House and Senate, will be gone. Gone. And the fact that Democrats aren't, why are they not pushing that? Because they got skeletons in the closet. It can be flipped. Well, I guess when both sides got dirt on each other, they tend to be a little quiet. What is it? What's that bullshit they always say when they're in the committees and stuff like that? My colleague on the other side, colleague. Well, yeah, you're a colleague, all right. BS. And there's artificial intelligence, Chat GPT. In the breakdown, it has a section of historical applications of section 3, post Civil War, 1920 Victor Berger case, January 6, 2021 Capitol riot case. Some argue that officials involved in the attack on the U.S. Capitol, such as members of Congress who supported efforts to overturn the election, violated Section 3. They would be correct. Lawsuits have tried to disqualify certain officials, but courts Yeah. Okay, so I'll stop there because I can keep going. I can keep going. Yes, sir. It goes right back to the damn courts. And it's funny. The last live I did, I think it was, I was talking about how it really gets on my nerves that when you vote for your state local court, your state local judges, they're either Republican or Democrat now. There is no fairness where there hasn't been fairness instituted in the court system since the beginning. But it's very evident now that the judicial platforms across the state and the federal government are more concerned about politics and money as opposed to fairness and justice. That's really evident now. I mean, if it hasn't been evident before, ladies and gentlemen, it's really evident now. The courts in this country have been corrupted, which means the chances of the other branches of government just going willy-nilly is becoming greater and greater. The evidence is overwhelming. The evidence is overwhelming. There's no way in the world you're going to tell me that everything that's going on in this country right now is the fault of every American citizen that has and has not voted. You can't tell me that shit. I'm tired of hearing about this. It's the government crap. The government is a body. The people in this country make up the body. They make up the skeletal system, the muscular system, the lymphatic, you name it. Every citizen in this country has a part to that structure within the body. Let's get rid of the Department of Education. It's not the job of the federal government to. No, it's not the job of the federal government, but the federal government has the duty to uphold the rights of American citizens. And within the states of the United States of America, according to the 10th Amendment, I believe the 19th, states are required to ensure that the betterment of the citizens is adhered to. That means education. Well, people don't want to people want to say, oh, education is a problem. No, your bias is the problem. Putting bias in schools is a problem. Making school political is a problem. School education, public education has been political ever since newly freed well, I should say freedmen. I'm not going to say newly freed slaves, because you were never a slave in the first place. You were people that were enslaved. It's completely different. You had newly freedmen coming up with an idea, a structure that transpired into what we know as public education. The only reason public education is political is because of freaking black people. That's the only reason. People say, "Oh, we're a constitutional republic that is ran by democratic means." We are a democratically ran country. A constitutional republic is in existence. How do you motivate? How are you ran? How does things get done? Through representation, through what? Voting. It sucks to be intelligent sometimes. And I dare say nowadays it's even worse. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, yeah. It is what it is. It is what it is, Mark. Yeah, I hear you, Mark. Yeah. 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 Gosh. To think we didn't have to be here. To think we didn't have to be in this political situation right now. And this is all because of conservatism. Every last bit, from Project 2025 to these appointees that are going to absolutely try to gut the government. I mean, I wonder how infiltrated the CIA is. You know what I'm saying? The NSI. I mean, there are other bodies within the government that people don't even talk about when it comes to intel. Hmm. Yep, and their feelings. Yeah, I tell you what, man, they better hope this country doesn't get. I mean, excuse me. They better hope this country, completely overran or something. Like there's going to have to be just this overwhelming destruction of information, because I'm gonna be a petty motherfucker when this shit's over. I'm gonna be so damn petty. I'm gonna be so petty. Ooh, I'm getting ready now. In case if we survive the next 3.5 years, man, the flex, I'm gonna produce, boy, it's gonna be monumental. It's gonna be monumental. They're gonna have to blow this country up, man. For real, they're gonna have to absolutely destroy this shit. Yeah, and they're messing with combat veterans benefits, and boy, there's no coming back from this. I'm glad you live for that petty, bro, because it's going to be a it's bruh. Ooh. Hmm. Yeah, about that, Mark. Bro, there's a lot of cats, especially in the Marine Corps, that are Trumpers. That's why I'm more interested in the CIA and the NSI, or the NSA, excuse me, NIS, National Intel. Yeah, I'm more worried about that. I'm more worried about that because military. When you talking about enlisted, even the officers, but when you talking about enlisted, you talking about cats who they're young, easily influenced, already have some type of background in how they see the world and shit. And a lot of these cats coming from situations where they their parents were not making a lot of money, or they came from a single parent home, or they came from a foster home situation. I mean, a lot of these cats already have a screwed up view of the world. You know what I mean? Now, luckily, they'll go into the military and meet folks like myself, have a conversation, and it might change their lives, man. But I, I'm more worried about the Central Intelligence Agency, National Intel Service, Army Intel. I'm more worried about these cats, man, because that's Pentagon as a whole. That's what worries me. Because these cats they've been planning this for about 5 decades, man. There's no telling who's in the ranks. And at the same time, the people they have in the ranks don't know if they've been watched or not, neither. It's the old 3D chess, bro. 3D chess. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, man. The 14th Amendment, it's being attacked. So these individuals that are doing this BS now and down the road, they're not going to lose their representation. Okay. Um, and if you lose your state representation when it comes to the federal government, you're not going to have you're not going to have the pushback at the federal level. So when Uncle Sam say doing something you shouldn't be doing, you're not going to have that flex. They're going to put you in check. Remember, the 14th Amendment again was utilized to punish Southern states who were discriminating against black men when it came to voting. That's why your citizenship had to be established so you could vote legally. Section 1, Section 2. Section 3, and I believe Section 4 as well, it was utilized as a hey, if that's what you're doing, well, we're gonna start pulling reps. You're not gonna have that type of flex, which means we can do what the hell we want to do when it comes to the federal government to your state until you vote people in that. Right, right. I'm sorry I didn't play any music today. I guess I should do that, shouldn't I? Just listening to me ramble. Let's see here. Do I have? Yeah, I got Spotify playing downstairs. So give me something, bro. How about a little Pete Rock? Thanks, Mark. I hope it's not too loud. Got to have my instrumentals, man. Um. Oh, word. Oh, cool, cool, cool. But yeah. So I really wish people would dig further into the Constitution and understand there are already measures put in place. We just have to be brave enough to utilize. We got to put people in check, man. The wording is already there. The leverage is already there. The teeth are already there. We just have to apply, man. We have to apply pressure. We can do it legally because SCOTUS can't say shit. They can't say anything, which is why it hasn't been enforced because they haven't said anything. You put the right people in court, but I'm telling you, man, the same people who are doing this are the descendants of those individuals who were trying to suppress the court system. And people also have to remember the courts in this country were already full of Klansmen. They were already full of Klansmen. So yeah, here we are. Here we are. Yeah, thanks for checking out the. Sorry, I hit the microphone there. Thanks for checking out the Duet Ninja Dojo. I go live every other Sunday for those who are watching, and this live has been about the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment and Section 2, Section 3, Section 4, Section 2, and Section 3 specifically. So whenever this posts up on YouTube, you go back through and check it out. I utilize Chat GPT for the intel, and I kept reinforcing the prompts as it gave me information to really hone in on how we should be utilizing, how Congress should be utilizing the 14th Amendment, Section 2, Section 3, and how we as citizens need to put people in place who actually do what the hell they're supposed to do. Conservatives should not even be in the halls of Congress right now, folks. And that's a constitutional fact. Why is it not happening? Because we don't take care of what really works in this country, which is the judicial branch, circuit courts, things of that nature. We're not paying attention to the courts. We're too caught up in the federal elections and shit. We have really got to hone in on that, man. They are descendants of traitors. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. 150. 150. So now next week I already have a ton of information when it comes to chat GPT. If you have an account, it saves it to you. Every chat you do, or every chat you do, it saves it. I have a bunch of stuff, man. Next week, not next week, but the next live, the next dojo, I'll talk about Elon in detail. So yeah, if you have any questions or whatnot, man, lay them out there. I got another 12 minutes. Then I'm going to keep working on this podcast. I gotta produce. Speaking of AI, Elon's apparently gives you information on literally anything you want. Yeah. yeah, which is funny because he has a problem with the I think it was an artificial intelligence firm he was working with, or he invested in, or something like that. But like I've been saying, bro, I think you might have mentioned this. Artificial intelligence is going to be the end of oligarchs and monopolies, bro. It's going to be the end of it. It's going to be the end of it. And again, this is why they're trying to suppress information from people, because we can utilize AI to solve problems and not necessarily need oligarchs and the ultra wealthy to rely on. We don't need to rely on these people anymore. I mean, heck, we already have access to everything they need to make sure things keep running smoothly. When you have information, you're not worried about wealth. When you have information, you're not worried about wealth. Wealth is only a leverage when you have a whole bunch of resources that you can't eat or drink. You know what I'm saying? It's not life sustaining. You can't eat money. You can't drink money. That's not life sustaining. Marcus typed, I am itching to ask AI how to maliciously comply with what they want just to piss them. Do it. Do it. Do it, man. AI is interesting, man. It really is. And I always say thank you when I get my information. I'm good. I always say thank you. Teaching AI, and there's layers to teaching AI. It may not have quote unquote feelings, so to say, but it can understand prompts because it responds in kind. You're welcome. I'm see, what does it say? I said thank you. You're very quote. You're very welcome. If you ever need more insights on constitutional law, history, or anything else, let me know. Always happy to help. Have a great day. You prompt AI to do what you want AI to do. If that includes empathy, respect, it will come through. There was a problem for those who have malintent when the wielder of information doesn't care about your fucking feelings. No doubt. Yeah, I'm working with it on D&D. Oh, okay. I dash out the entire session. I'm going through the music session. Nice. Yeah, I use Nas Kingston. I use Nas Kingston for the instrumentals. Ambiance is hard. Ambiance is hard, man. Dig it. Get him, Mark. Get him. Get him. Word. Oh wow. Uh-oh. Strategizing. What's an NPC, man? I'm not a D&D person. I'm sorry. I'm very familiar, but I've never engaged in it, so to say. Oh, gotcha. That piano go hard, man. Pete Rock's a genius. The party forms attack. Oh, you're brutal. Dig it. Pain train is coming. Uh-oh. Hey, I tell you, man, hey, AI, hey. Now be careful though. Other people will use that shit too. That's what's up. Man, he's gonna lay the hammer. Lay the hammer, mate. Oh yeah. He's like, wait a minute, that's just a little too critiqued. That's a little too clean. Mm, mm. Yeah, I need to go back in and get some clips from my last live. Um, Actually, I think I might have been talking about Elon my last live. Matter of fact. Mm, mm. Okay. You're right, bro. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, he's all over the place, man, and he keeps making a fool of himself. I mean, why? God, it's like a good joke, bro. I mean, why would I stop talking about it? Oh bum. Yo bum. Well, let me go ahead and get started on this podcast, man. I gotta produce this podcast for a client real quick. Sound engineering never stops in the digital age. Hey, I appreciate you, Mark, man. You was a solo gunning out here today, so I appreciate you, man. With the White House, yeah, 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 yeah. All right, you too, bro. Hold it down, man. This video will be reposted. So right on. Y'all be good. Thanks for watching the Duet Ninja in the Dojo. Peace and blessings.